Hello guys, how are you all of you? I hope everybody is pretty fine as usual. And again, I Pawan Gahalian welcome you on my YouTube channel. That's English with Pawan Gahalian. Okay, I will be speaking two sentences in front of you. You have to assess like what kind of distinctions or what kind of difference you are getting. सीता के द्वारा खाना खाया जा रहा है, राम के द्वारा मोहन को पीटा जा रहा है, टीचर के द्वारा बच्चों को पढ़ाया जा रहा है. Do we people speak these kind of sentence while speaking Hindi? I think not. We simply say टीचर बच्चों को पढ़ा रहा है, राम खाना खा रहा है, सीता कपड़े धो रही है. Okay, usually we use active voice sentence. If in Hindi we people use maximum use of active voice, passive voice like a bit awkward while using Hindi also, then why do we people mad run after passive voice all the time in English? So here today in this video I'll be letting you know about the use of passive voice, the circumstances, the uses and the situations, conditions related to use passive voice and why it is required and how did the passive voice come in existence. Okay, so let me tell you my dear students, it's very simple to make sentences using tenses. Generally, as you know very well, tense sentences are like considered to be active voice sentence, like tense sentences or modal sentences are active voice sentences. And passive voice, why do we use passive voice? If I can say simply Ram khana kha raha hai, Ram is eating food. Okay, then why do we say food is being eaten by Ram, Ram ke dwara khana khaya ja raha hai? Why we people are making complicated these sentences, like why we people make English the most complicated language? So let me tell you my difference. So firstly let me tell you how did passive voice come in existence. Firstly, when the speaker is, the first use of passive voice is when speaker or like when the doer of the action is unknown. When we people don't know by whom the action is done, काम किसने किया अगर हमें ना पता हो तो हमें passive voice का ही use करना पड़ेगा. There is no any other option except passive voice. If I say like उसको बेरहमी से मारा गया. He was beaten very mercilessly. Then how can you make sentence using active voice? Can you make sentence using active? If you don't know किसने उसको मारा है, who is the doer of the action, doer is unknown, it means we don't have any other option except passive voice. हमें passive voice का ही use करना पड़ेगा. In case अगर doer हमें mention नहीं है, doer is like action, doer of the action is unknown to us, then we have only passive voice. Okay? उसको फांसी दी गई. We can't make किसने उसको फांसी दी, we don't know. ठीक है, उसको चिढ़ाया गया. ओके, बच्चों को पढ़ाया गया, कमरे की सफाई की गई. इंडिया में दिवाली बड़ी धूमधाम से मनाई जाती है. ओके, लोगों के द्वारा मिठाइयाँ बांटी जाती है. सो इफ सब्जेक्ट इज अननोन टू अस, फांसी किसने दी, चोरी किसने की, भी मेरे पड़ोस में चोरी हुई है. ओके, एंड वी पीपल से a thievery is committed in my neighborhood. Thievery is committed. A theft is committed, we can say. अगर हमें सब्जेक्ट का पता ही नहीं है, then how can we make sentence in active voice? Active voice means we have to put subject in the beginning because subject is actively performing the action. Okay? Active voice नाम क्यों आया? Because subject itself is active participant. Subject itself is doing the action directly himself or like herself or themselves. Okay? But in passive voice there is no subject. हमारे माइंड में क्या थियरी है कि सेंटेंस के बिगिनिंग में पहले सब्जेक्ट आता है, फिर वर्ब आती है, फिर ऑब्जेक्ट आता है. ठीक है, बट जो हम पैसिव वॉइस में स्टार्टिंग में यूज़ करते हैं, लाइक राम को पीटा गया, राम वॉज बिटन. दिस इज राम इज नॉट सब्जेक्ट हियर. राम इज नॉट द डूअर ऑफ द एक्शन. राम इज द रिसीवर ऑफ द एक्शन. राम इज रिसेप्टर. ओके, राम काम को नहीं कर रहा है, राम के ऊपर काम किया जा रहा है. राम इज नॉट करता, राम इज कर्म. राम काम को भुगतने वाला है. ओके, व्हाट इज ऑब्जेक्ट? That is the receiver of the action. That's called object. The first use is when subject is unknown. Okay, he was hanged till death. उसको फांसी दी गई, उसको मार दिया गया. He was killed. अब मैं बोलूँ अभी राम ने उसको मारा, then you can say Ram killed him. But if subject is not mentioned, उसको मार दिया गया, हमें पता नहीं किसने मारा है. He was killed. Suppose this is a kind of board and here it's written Anna English Spoken Academy. हमारे यहाँ पर इंग्लिश सिखाई जाती है. Then how will I get it written? I will write English is taught here. Like spoken English is taught here. Okay. Instead of like laying stress on subject like Pawan sir is teaching English here or I am teaching English here, it doesn't give good impact to the like viewers or to the listeners who are like watching or listening to that content. So to emphasize object that English is taught here, competitive grammar is taught here, okay, and Punjabi is taught here, means we are paying more emphasis on object. The second use is, first use when subject is unknown, and second use when we pay more emphasis, when we lay more emphasis, when we put more stress on object, and object is shown to be the main part of the sentence. That means we are using passive voice, okay, because generally in passive voice object is used at very first in sentences. Like if I say one more example, उसके द्वारा ओला स्कूटी खरीदी गई. अब मैं सपोज सेंटेंस है भी राम के द्वारा ओला स्कूटी खरीदी गई. राम ने ओला इलेक्ट्रिक स्कूटी खरीदी. राम परचेज्ड ओला इलेक्ट्रिक स्कूटी. एंड इफ आई से ओला इलेक्ट्रिक स्कूटी वाज परचेज्ड बाय राम, ओला इलेक्ट्रिक स्कूटी वाज परचेज्ड बाय राम, इट मींस आई एम पेइंग मोर एम्फेसाइज ऑन ओला इलेक्ट्रिक स्कूटी अदर देन राम. राम को मैं एम्फेसाइज करने के बजाय मैं ऑब्जेक्ट को यहाँ पे जो है रिप्रेजेंट करना चाह रहा हूँ. ऑब्जेक्ट मैं चाहता हूँ कि जो व्यूवर्स है, जो लिसनर्स है, जो रीडर्स है, वो ऑब्जेक्ट पे ज़्यादा ध्यान दे बजाय कि सब्जेक्ट को. ओके, तो सेकंड यूज ऑफ पैसिव वॉइस इज टू ले मोर एम्फेसाइज. जब हमें ऑब्जेक्ट को सुपीरियर दिखाना हो, ऑब्जेक्ट को मेन दिखाना हो, हमें ऑडियंस का जो लिसनर्स का और रीडर्स का ध्यान हमें अगर ऑब्जेक्ट की तरफ लेके आना है, देन वी यूज पैसिव वॉइस. ओके, सो दैट इन पैसिव वॉइस वी कुड यूज ऑब्जेक्ट इन द बिगिनिंग. Like for my example, he is teaching mathematics. Suppose Ashish sir like is the well esteemed or like prominent teacher of Samalka vicinity and in St. Xavier School also, having a good name, okay, in his sphere, in his like subject, having a great vast knowledge of his subject. Ashish sir teaches maths. Ashish sir teaches maths. Here, I want the audience, I want the readers to listen about Ashish sir. Ashish sir teaches maths. But if I say mathematics is taught by Ashish sir, here mathematics, it means I'm paying more emphasis on subject. Sorry, on object, mathematics. Okay. So second use, we got to know that when we have to pay more, we have to like get the attention of the viewers, of the readers, of the audience towards object, then we use passive voice. And third is the passive voice. This is the like misconception of the people, just to make the language more advanced or more, you can say, complicated. It is considered that only the people who are having a vast knowledge of English language, only they can use passive voice. Okay, so sometimes just to show the supremacy, of the language, we people consider using passive voice other than active voice. Okay, like I was passing on the road and I saw that a child was being beaten by some hooligans. A child was being beaten by some hooligans. This tense is, so you people will like might puzzle that which kind of tense is this. Okay, but this is not tense, it's passive voice tense. And generally बच्चे क्या करते हैं, they just learn, they cram some rules of passive voice. Actually it's not their fault. In their books it has been given राम खाना खाता है, राम के द्वारा खाना खाया जाता है. Ram eats food and food is eaten by Ram. The thing is that what is the need and why do we are having two options and why don't we use one only? What is the second one? Okay, so I told you the difference between active voice and passive voice. Let me summarize again. Let me conclude again the topic. First, use of passive voice when subject is unknown, subject is not mentioned, when we don't know who have done the action. Okay, like he was abused, he was killed very badly, I was hurt by him. and like he was fired from the school. I was not informed about this. I wasn't informed about this. मुझे inform नहीं किया गया था. It was not my fault because I wasn't informed about this. अब किसने inform नहीं किया? First use क्या निकल के आया? When subject is not mentioned. Second use, when we lay more emphasis on object. ठीक है भाई, मैथमेटिक्स सिखाया जाता है सर के द्वारा. मैथमेटिक्स इज टॉट बाय सर. ओके, केमिस्ट्री सिखाई जाती है भाई अमन भटला सर के द्वारा. केमिस्ट्री इज टॉट बाय अमन भटला सर. केमिस्ट्री इज टॉट, इट मीन्स आई एम लेइंग एम्फेसाइज ऑन केमिस्ट्री. ठीक है, rather than subject. तो सेकंड यूज क्या निकल के आया? जब हमें ऑब्जेक्ट को मेन दिखाना हो, ऑब्जेक्ट को हमें एम्फेसाइज करना हो, हमें ऑडियंस का ध्यान ऑब्जेक्ट के ऊपर लेके आना हो, देन वी हैव टू यूज पैसिव वॉइस सेंटेंसेस. एंड थर्ड यूज, इट्स a kind of like misconception to make a language complicated, to show the supremacy, to show your like vast knowledge about English language. You can use passive voice. We are having active voice option also, but passive voice also. But still we are using passive voice. Why? Thus to give a good impact over to the listeners, over to the audience. Okay, so these are active voice and passive voice. I hope you got the point and it is clear to all. So it's not all about running after passive voice. Some situations are there. कुछ कंडीशन ऐसी होती है जहाँ पर आप एक्टिव वॉइस यूज ही नहीं कर सकते, आपको पैसिव वॉइस का ही यूज़ करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल भाई सपोज पहले आई थिंक पानीपत में एक नोवेल नाम से एक सिनेमा थिएटर हुआ करता था. अब उसको बंद कर दिया गया. ठीक है, उसको बहुत समय पहले उसको बंद कर दिया गया. दैट थिएटर वॉज क्लोज्ड मैनी ईयर्स अगो. अब किसने किया, हमें बंदे का नाम ही नहीं पता है. देन हमारे पास तो ऑप्शन है नहीं कि हम इसको एक्टिव वॉइस में बनाएं, इसको हमें पैसिव वॉइस में ही बनाना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, तो कुछ कंडीशन है जहाँ पे हमें सिर्फ पैसिव वॉइस में ही बनाना पड़ता है, लेकिन कुछ कंडीशन है जहाँ पर हम एक्टिव वॉइस में बना सकते हैं, पैसिव वॉइस में बना सकते हैं. बट वो डिपेंड करता है कि हमने सब्जेक्ट को मेन दिखाना है, हमने ऑडियंस का या फिर रीडर्स का ध्यान हमें ऑब्जेक्ट की तरफ खींचना है या फिर सब्जेक्ट की तरफ खींचना है.